Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This guy's Tim, and today we are going to talk about how you stop the onslaught of lawsuits the good old-fashioned way, and the gun controllers are not too happy about it. Everything that we're about to show you, we need some feedback on. Let us know what you think in the comments field, and of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on if you are down for your goings-on in the two-way world, wrapped up with some analysis, some commentary, and a delicious veneer of humor and sarcasm. With that, Tim, are you ready for the tears? We need a cup for these tears. There's a lot of tears.
And this one, these are tears a long time coming. I mean, geez.
30-year tears.
Yeah, I moved to Indiana in 1999, and right when this was just kicking off for the most part, and it's just been this ongoing thing. It would just rear its head every few years, and it was all driven by politics and political wins and things like that, and we just couldn't imagine why this thing wouldn't die.
It's so weird. It's so weird, but there's good news because a 30-year lawsuit has now been kicked in the gonads by the Republicans, who just finally said, "Yeah, nah, it's kind of illegal what you're doing." Why? Because we just passed the law, and Tim, I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler. Guess what they did when they passed the law? It makes them so mad. The gun controllers are so mad.
Oh, no. What did they do?
They retroactively set the start date of the law that they just passed to 3 days before the Gary lawsuits.
Look, they're playing the same games the left likes to play.
They're playing the game.
Fighting
wow,
fire
isn't that weird? Isn't that weird?
Hey,
well, let me get into this. Oh, it's so beautiful. I just wanted to share that with you to get you excited. Exactly. It's so nice. The GOP interference, this is from the AP, can you tell? GOP interference on decades-old gun lawsuit leaves some Indiana residents disheartened and angry. Man, it's weird when the shoe's on the other foot.
Not many, but some.
just some of them. Well, let me show you these some, because this is so bad. Well, according to the AP, almost 25 years after suing the firearms industry for failing to prevent illegal gun sales, the northwestern Indiana city of Gary won a critical victory last fall when a judge ordered gun manufacturers to hand over years of production and sales records. Does that sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
What's it sound familiar like, Tim?
Oh, I mean, this is something that the gun grabbers have been doing for some time, and they want that information. They want those sales records so they can put you on blast.
That's right.
We've seen in the past where gun grabbers have sought information from the state, and then they took like people's addresses and permit information and literally posted it online so you could search for it, and little maps with little dots where their houses were.
New York did that.
So them going for those records is very nefarious, right? There's nothing good going to come from them getting their hands on such records.
Yes. But now they don't get them because they're big mad, because Republicans are big meanies. Well, in March, I love this so much, Governor Eric Holcomb signed a new law retroactively banning cities from bringing such lawsuits, effectively halting the case. That's where they went back 3 days before the case was filed. This is so great. Republicans said the gun industry is not responsible for illegal sales. Oh, that's weird. Because no other industry is responsible for illegal sales, but guns should be, right?
I mean, we need to hold Chevy accountable for all the cars that are stolen and resold and people driving around in stolen cars. I mean, Chevy really needs to crack down on crime.
They do. They do, because there's lots of speeding.
And Glock and Smith & Wesson, they need to crack down on crime because they're the ones responsible, folks, for keeping you safe from criminals. It's the responsibility of manufacturers. They are supposed to do law enforcement. Wouldn't the left love that? As much as they rail against corporate America, let's make corporate police forces so Glock and Smith & Wesson can go out and enforce laws that they want to enforce.
What would go wrong?
They would love that, wouldn't they? No, they wouldn't. Nobody would. But
what could go wrong with that, though, Tim? I mean, you've got so many different private, personal armies. Oh, wait a minute. Roman history. Holy crap, the triumvirate. Can I be Julius Caesar? It's just so idiotic.
The left doesn't know what they're asking for. And if they ever get it,
of course they don't.
Yeah.
No, of course they don't. It's just like it's the same people who are like, we're preparing for the eventual rising of the fascist state by doing push-ups and doing training for the left to defend our other brothers and sisters in the movement. Okay, comrade, you don't want to know how this turns out.
We don't like fascists, but we act like them. You don't.
We don't like fascists, so we're communists.
We're going to dress in black like Mussolini's black shirts, and we're going to beat you in the streets like Mussolini's black shirts. I mean, there's no parallels there to the anti-fascists and the fascists whatsoever.
Not a single one, because they had
conform
masks.
or die.
Exactly. No, it's we're open. We're open for all the thought. We have we hate hatred, and we are open for so much love, and we accept all opinions and beliefs, unless you don't agree with us, in which case we hate you.
Yeah,
it's just so silly. But anyway, Tim, this is a very big problem. Listen to this. I mean, this is so bad. This is number 11. Gary is more racially diverse than the rest of Indiana, and sitting just east of Chicago is one of the few Democratic strongholds. Oh, what are the odds that Democratic strongholds have such horrible gun violence that they're trying to sue gun manufacturers, but only in the Democratic strongholds closest to a Democratic stronghold? Color me perplexed.
Yeah.
Man.
It almost sounds like, with this whole, the estimated 67,970 population is black, in contrast to 10% of the people statewide, according to the Census Bureau. It almost sounds like they're trying to make this into a racial issue again.
Yeah. Wait a minute, they did? Because I didn't even see that, because I'm colorblind. So all I saw was Democratic strongholds. Man, it's a good thing I had my colorblind glasses on, because I didn't even see that. I'm glad you pointed that out. You must not have your glasses on, but we're not going to talk about that.
Okay.
Because you clearly identified a problem, which means
anytime the left is losing an argument, they immediately go to something that they got to call you an ist of some sort, racist, misogynist. There's some ist they want to level against you because they're not winning. Mm-hmm. And when they don't win, then they just call names, stomp their feet, and burn buildings, turn cars over, loot, rape, pillage, murder. But they're good people.
Grab your torch and pitchforks. They're so angry.
You know what you never see are conservatives out burning cities to the ground and murdering people.
No, but anyway, they took over an entire nation and an insurrection in a coup, and you don't even know what you're talking about. They burned the entire. It was actually reborn that day. You just don't know.
Yeah, it's just like burning a field. It comes back.
Just sprouts right back
faster.
Yeah. Wait, what song was that?
I'm doing the $6 Million Man, dude. That's well before your time. That's some Steve Austin
because you
stuff right there.
Clearly, you went there, and it went over my head, and I made a reference to a Daft Punk song, and that went over your head. So we're just not aligning right now.
Nope.
But anyway,
shall we continue?
Shall we move on? The disjointed nature of our age brackets. Well, God, man, we usually don't miss that hard. Like that was like two ships in the night, man. That was like. Oh man, let's see here. Oh, this is a big thing right here. Gary's suit is the last one standing of the original from the 25 years ago, which is why the gun controllers are so mad. But in November, a Lake County judge ordered manufacturers to produce decades of business records. That strikes me as familiar to what they just did in the gun lawsuit against Glock from Everytown for Gun Safety in Chicago. They want these records because they're going to use them for marketing for gun control and legislation in the future through Democrats. That's why they want this stuff. The lawsuits aren't going to go through. They just want the discovery to get that content so they can use it further.
So they can beat up the gun industry. They can beat up gun dealers.
Yep.
Anybody that is on that list, they're going to use that for political purposes.
100%, because they're not going to win that lawsuit. They're not going to win that lawsuit at all. There's not a chance they win that lawsuit. But they got all the goodies. It's almost like a very expensive gun control, dark money, dark lawfare approach to get what you really want, but still lose in the end. Oh, you beat us, but we got all we wanted.
Right. And that's all you have to do is just file a court case, and then discovery begins if it's allowed to proceed.
That's exactly what they're going to do.
Yep.
100%. But here's how you beat this. And Indiana's Republican legislator did this effectively. This is 13. Indiana's Republican-dominated legislature moved quickly to approve the new law this year, stipulating that only the state's attorney general can bring civil action against a firearm and ammunition manufacturer, and made it retroactive, which I thought was just like the cherry on top. But they basically put it in the state attorney general's control versus the cities. So they completely neutered it.
Yeah.
And that's all you got to do.
That's not unusual for states like Indiana, because we do have a preemption law here. So the cities can't act on their own. They have to step in line with what the state government is doing. And so this isn't out of the ordinary under those. Indiana is by no means the only state in the country that has a preemption law. It actually makes a lot of sense, right? Because I grew up in a state that did not have preemption laws at the time. It was Kansas, and I could carry a firearm in my car in the city I lived in, but if I went one town over, it was actually against the law. It was a city ordinance that made it a crime, a low-level felony to be caught with a firearm in your car. So going from city to city to city within a state, you had different laws, and that's why we have preemption laws. to stop that type of chaos from happening. Chaos that favors the far left, but doesn't favor conservative people that like freedom.
Because others don't. Right. Here's the thing that's so key in what you just said, because that was a really good tie-in. The preemption laws preempt states or cities from making laws that differ from state laws, right? They give the state precedence. They basically say, you're the big daddy and we got to follow you around.
Right. State drives
we'll hold on to your pocket. State drives. So in this, it was lawsuits from the city against the manufacturers. So basically what they just did was they just created a legislative law shield similar to the PLCAA, but they made it only state level and they took that away. So it's kind of like preemption and PLCAA had a baby. And that's what we're talking about here in Indiana. We need more of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it'll neuter them completely.
Yep. But I will say the damage from these suits, and I think that it's funny that it says that the legislature moved swiftly. It's 25 years,
25
folks.
years later.
You could have shut this down 2 decades ago. There's nothing swift about this. Matter of fact, Indiana Republicans, they're starting to see a little bit of a change here. I actually met with a guy that's running for District 8 at the state level Senate just this week. But we're starting to see a little bit more conservatism work its way back into the Indiana GOP, because we have had plenty of GOP representatives that stood in the way of things like constitutional carry. And so there's a little bit of a resurgence of the GOP right now in the state of Indiana, and you're starting to see more GOP members act conservative versus being pushovers for the far left. And so, or worse, in many cases with some of the GOP here in the state, being assistants or going along with the far left, especially on the issue of firearms. So
freaking
and Indiana, folks, is a very, very pro-gun state. It's one of the better ones.
Well, Tim, it wouldn't be a good episode talking about these things if there wasn't some nefarious group pulling the strings, would it?
Oh, who is it?
Oh, it's our friends.
Giffords.
No, they don't.
Bloomberg.
Nope. Well, kind of.
Oh, okay.
Not really, but medium. It's the Brady Center, a national
I always
organization.
Overlook them. They don't tweet as much. They're no fun.
Oh, no, the Brady Center doesn't. You should just follow Chris Brady, though. That'll get you what you need. Talk about some G3 segments. Holy crap, that woman. Man, that's some next level stuff. But yeah, so the Brady Center's running that one, and Everytown for Gun Safety is running the Glock in Chicago one. Isn't it weird how they've intertwined themselves with public policy in all the blue bastions? Isn't that odd?
Very odd
to me. It's weird.
Hey, did you like that meme I sent to you via text about gun grabbers and head wounds? No? Okay, anyway.
No, I did not like that one. That one will never see the light of day. Ever.
See, guys, there's certain things that I push for on the show that always get shut down because I have a Gen X approach to humor.
Oh, it's dark. It's dark.
It's
woo.
Yeah,
you need a flashlight for his
my
humor.
Generation doesn't. We're the Mel Brooks generation, right? We're the Blazing Saddles generation, and so our humor tends to be a little bit different than what's politically acceptable today. But anyway,
you know what? I think
the Brady Bunch had to jump in on it. Are we done
Brady
now?
Bunch? No, we're done with that. But I do want to say, here's how that conversation went. Tim, ooh, Braden, no. Tim, please. Braden,
No.
Not happening.
This is like
What about
a
this
weekly
one?
thing, right?
Fine.
I'm always sending memes over like, can we talk about? No.
No.
I did get one yes, and we got a video out of it. But most of them I get shot down on.
Snuck one through. But wrap us up. That is a little behind the scenes.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, it's a little behind the scenes, probably too much information, the TMI. But anyway, folks, thank you for watching Second Legacy, and we'll talk to you guys soon.